ever avoid doing a card making technique because it just looked way too complicated? What if I told you that I've got one for you that's way easier than it looks? Hi, I'm Julia with Julia Sue's Stamping. And I'm really glad that you're here to hang out with me for a little bit today. Thank you. Well, the technique I'm going to share with you is one that quite honestly really intimidated me. So I decided to research it and then jump right in. And I'm really glad I did, because I learned that the Eclipse technique, which is what we're going to be doing, is more than one style. There are three that I'm going to share with you really quickly. There is the classic eclipse, there is the reverse eclipse, and then a framing eclipse. Now, there are more than that, but these are the three I'm going to share with you because they were the three I liked the best and I thought were the easiest for me. So I want to share them with you. My goal here is to take away the mystery and give you the confidence so that you can create these yourself. And if you're joining me for the live, please hop over into the chat, say hi. If you're watching the replay, then please leave a comment. I absolutely love hearing from you. So while these cards look really complicated, they're extremely doable. Please give me a thumbs up if you would please for the video. Hit subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Follow me on social media. All these things are absolutely free and make a huge difference to my teeny tiny business. So thank you. I appreciate your support so very much. All right, I think we should get started. How about you? Let's go. This style I tend to think of as the classic eclipse style of card. I'm going to start off with some green. I thought it would be so fun and refreshing to have some old olive as the card base. Inside I've got a little bit of early espresso because I want that really nice dark color. And I'm going to surround a bit of very vanilla. The early espresso, both pieces that I have here are cut to be 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And then this very vanilla is 3 3/4 by 5. You don't need to remember all of these measurements because I do have everything listed in a free downloadable PDF that's on my blog. Please be sure you check it out. Download it. It's there for you so that you can recreate these awesome fun cards on your own. I've got a piece of coordinating designer series paper that I'm just gonna slip here on the inside so the inside will coordinate with the outside. For this style, I'm going to be using the alphabet set, which is called the Alphabet a la Mode. This isn't all of it, but this is what I'll need for this. I'm going to be using the Gathering Moments stamp set. Starting off with a little bit of grid paper, I'm going to lay my letters down on the grid paper, and I'm going to get them as even as I can and kind of evenly spaced. So I'm going to put them so they are down. All right. And I also want them to be able to fit on here. So I'm going to use that as a gauge as well. And I'm going to take some repositionable tape, lay it down. Do I want it just a little further apart? I think I will, just so they don't run together and confuse people. The words, the letters and the words. Okay. All right. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I'll put that down so that they all are stuck to the tape. Then I'm going to lift up the tape with all the letters connected to it. And to see where it is I want it to go onto the designer series paper, lining it up with some lines. Okay, perfect. After running it through the cut and emboss machine, I'm going to carefully take the tape off of the designer series paper. And I want to keep everything that has to do with these letters together. So I want the middle part of the O's and anything else that would come with them. Excellent. Everything stayed together nicely. Now to carefully take that off. Now that everything's cut out, the easy part begins. I am going to go ahead and adhere this to the card base so that it's all done. I'm going to do a lot of it, a lot of adhesive, more than I probably normally do. And I also want to be sure to get between the letters. I'm going to get up close to the letters and in between them. And the way I'm going to get between them here is with some of the liquid adhesive. Right here also, there, real close. I want to be sure to get this part after, between the U, and then that's good. Okay, oh, and this little bit here at the Y. Okay, I'm going to put it onto the card base. And just place it. It's an 1/8 inch smaller, so it will go on there just right there. Place that little Y part down the U. Okay. I'm going to begin gluing the letters together now. I have cut out 3 from a darker color, and then I have the 1 that is out of the designer series paper that I'll lay on top. So it's simply a matter of putting a little bit of adhesive on, and I am protecting my work surface with a bit of grid paper. You can use silicone sheet if you'd like. I like to use that. That's what I used earlier when I was creating some of these. It's super easy to put these layers together. You can actually make the Eclipse card without doing any layers if you want. That looks okay too. It doesn't look quite, in my opinion, quite as cool because it doesn't have like the raised edge as much. But you know what, if you're in a hurry and you want to make this cool technique and you don't want to do that, you can definitely just put these cutout letters into the cutout piece on the card front and it still looks cool. You can still see a bit of the background of the darker color behind it. Okay, now here goes that on top. And even it out. Now the only thing I'm going to do to make sure first that I have the correct side up. That's it. That will be the correct side up. Put a little bit of adhesive then onto the O to get it in there. Okay, now placing it down into the spot where it goes. How cool. All right, now I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive inside here. And this is kind of like playing Operation. Do you remember that when you were a kid? I'm going to get my little tweezers, my craft tweezers. And again, I want to make sure I have it the right way. I don't think that's it. It's going to have to be this way. That's it. Place it inside. And then I'm going to use the tweezers and my take or pick tool to just help smoosh it down. I don't think I need the take or pick tool right now. The tweezers seem to be doing really well. And just adhere it down inside. Okay, and you can see with the raised layers that I've done, the early espresso in there. And it looks outstanding. You can just see that on there and how it raises up, and that's the Eclipse. So a little bit of glue down here at the bottom, and it is ready to join all the others on the card front. Putting it right into the T spot. Look how quickly and easily that works. Yeah, it looks super cool. It's time to finish this off, and we have a little bit of the sentiment on Very Vanilla, surrounded by early espresso and stamped in early espresso as well. Placing it right onto the card front. Some early espresso matte dots here, and we're good. This card is so outstanding with all these details. Get another one over here, and I think one more. There. How fun is this? It's beautiful. And those raised letters, those raised letters are just the coolest. Here is another example that I did. This one is out of the Country Woods Designer Series paper, and I used the Banner Sayings stamp set with it. So a little bit of a celebrate today, and it is just so cool looking. Basic beige ribbon, I think it's a classic basic beige ribbon, and Misty Moonlight. Love these cards. Bringing in everything now for the reverse style of Eclipse card. I am going to be using the foam adhesive sheets, and it is normally the size of about 4 3/4. I was just 4 3/8, I believe it is. I was just measuring it to make sure I knew, and I cut it to be about the size of the Designer Series paper I'm going to be using. So it's just like 3 3/8 as well, and I needed about almost a 1/2 inch, but just a little less, to completely go underneath the Designer Series paper I'm going to use. So here's a little bit of that. That's why I have it cut that way. A little bit of Designer Series paper inside, basic white. Here is the Designer Series paper I'm using. It's the True Blue Florals, which is a product of the month for only $5 from Stampin' Up! During December of 2025. Some pecan pie and some pumpkin pie. Maybe I'm in the mood for pie right now. I don't know. All right. Grabbing my bone folder, I'm going to go ahead and burnish this really well. Just to get them out of the way, I will do the inside pieces here. Putting this inside the card base with a little bit of that basic white. So this basic white is cut 3 3/4 by 5. The pecan pie has been cut to be 3 7/8 by 5 1/8, and then I have a little strip of the Designer Series paper that coordinates that has been cut to be 1/2 inch by 3 3/4. So I'm going to simply put this coordinating strip here on the end so that it helps tie the inside of the card in with the outside of the card. It'll all be nice and cohesive. I was really surprised at this choice of colors. This is, though, what my Stampin' Up! color wheel said to do. So I'm going to trust that it knows a good color combination. I wanted to do something that would kind of be for a guide card. I'm going to go ahead and put the pecan pie piece, it's the exact same size as what's on the inside, down on the card front. So to make this easy, I will flip that over and place the foam adhesive sheet down onto it, and I'll also take off the release paper on this other one. You can see I've got this little space between. That's okay. That's okay. Now, for this technique, and today I'm going to be using the Words of Beauty dies as well as the stamp set. I love this just because for this technique, it has a larger piece that will cut out, and then I'll be able to use the just in there as well. And then I've got the because here. I want to have these things not go over where there's that gap. Remember that I do have that gap between because the adhesive sheets just weren't quite long enough. So I'm trying to feel like this is straight. I'm putting it on the grid paper, and I'm using the lines at the sides to kind of help me see where it will be straight for my words. I think that's pretty good. Okay, and I have room to write something else here. What I'm going to stamp is I appreciate you. So just because I appreciate you. I'm going to take a little bit of my Post-it tape. I'm going to lay it down over where they all meet. Then run this whole thing through my cut and emboss machine. Now that it's been run through the cut and emboss machine, I'm going to carefully remove the tape, the Post-it note tape, because it is a repositionable tape. You could use any kind of tape that is a repositionable tape if you wanted to. Doesn't have to be the Post-it note tape. I tend to steer away from the washi tape because washi tape often leaves a residue on my paper that I'm using. So I'll set that aside and use it again. Very carefully, I'm going to take that out, and now I'm going to take the because word out very carefully as well. And you can see that I've got a big spot of that. I'm going to take the paper off the back. Now I'm going to lay it onto my card front. I like to use the Take Your Pick tool for all of this next step. I'm looking onto the back here. I'm going to take away this outline and only leave the because that's on the inside. Lifting away the adhesive sheet as well. And it is stuck to my finger. That's okay. And I'm going to take out the inside pieces so I can poke them out. Keep that there. Okay. Pulling it away. All right. And the A. Okay, everything's off of the E's. Excellent. Now, is all the paper off? Oh, I've got a little bit of the B down here. I want to get that empty as well. Take that little extra cutout piece. Now I'm going to lay it inside. Don't feel too worried about the adhesive foam sheet because You can pick this up and move it a little bit if you need to. It's not going to be the end of the world if the very first time you put it down it's not exactly where you want. It's okay, and you'll be able to move it around. Now for the word just. I want to be really careful that I keep that I, that I keep the dot for the J. Moving very carefully. The dot for the J stayed there. Good. All right, so the adhesive backing is off. Now I'm going to very carefully take off the die cut. All right. And I am going to take out the little bit of the lower S here. Good, got that. Make sure the paper is off. The J. Now to put this inside my cutout just area. It's very easy to manipulate into it. And as you see, you can move it, so don't worry if it's not exactly where you want it. Now for that little I. That little, I keep calling it an I, the little dot for the J. Ta-da! How cool is that? And it is a reverse technique. It goes down around the letters instead of the letters all coming up. Now, the sentiment of I appreciate you was stamped in the pecan pie ink on a little bit of basic white. I die cut it with the Words of Beauty die cuts. Then I decided to frame it with a little bit of pecan pie that I cut to be an 1/8 inch bigger, and then I used some scissors to trim the edges to match. I'm going to simply put it onto the card front, and just because it's like a whole sentence here, say, I appreciate you. I'm trying to get about the same on the side as underneath it there. How cute! I love it. I think I'll go ahead and finish it off with some earthy matte dots. Just to do a little bit of decorating here using some of the pecan pie dots that are on here. And I'm really pleased with this being matte because this is a card that I am planning on giving to a guy. So I will just put a few of these fun dots on. And I think it's going to be fantastic. Excellent. Here's the very first one that I created. For this one, I used the Brushed with Beauty Designer Series paper. Same die cut, same stamp set, a little bit of mossy meadow and gold ribbon. I actually have the sparkle, low profile sparkle dots in mossy meadow over here. How fantastic are these? And really different, yet it's the exact same layout in every way. Cute. Here is the frame Eclipse style. It is a frame that I've made using the branching out dies. So you could use any kind of shapes that you have. Circles would work, squares would work, rectangles, anything. I really liked this one, and then I taped it together with my Post-it note tape. I stamped the large Layers of Beauty stamp on some basic white that was layered onto a basic black card base. Then I did just like with the other one with the classic. I cut out a bunch of the basic black because that was my background frames. I glued them together and put them underneath the die cut stamped image that I had done. So here is this card. Like I said, it's the exact same kind of idea where you take the layers and you glue them together, and then you create a frame. How beautiful is this? And then inside, I just did a little stamped image as well. I decided to keep this a black and white card. I thought that looked super cool with some rhinestone jewels, rhinestone basic jewels in there, and the Memento Tuxedo black ink, and that frame that I created. So it's got all the little stitching in it. It looks so detailed. Really, really nice. So let's do a quick recap here. We've got the classic of the Eclipse style, and then we have the reverse Eclipse style and the frame Eclipse style. All right, I would love to know which one is your favorite and which one are you going to try first. They're so easy and really create quite an impact when you give these cards out. They're just gorgeous. Even better in person than they are on camera. If you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to be your crafty cheerleader. And remember to grab that free PDF tutorial on my blog. The link is down in the description. See? Not scary at all. So whether you liked the classic, the reverse, or the framing style the best, I hope you feel confident to make one yourself today. If this video helped you say, I can do that, then it did its job. Please remember to give the video a thumbs up, hit subscribe, follow me on social media. It's free and it really does help my small business. Please leave me a comment and let me know which style of the Eclipse card is your favorite. Thanks again for spending a little bit of time with me today. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day and that you have a chance to get inky. Bye.